Welcome to the Civic Hub. The Civic Hub is a shared community space for grassroots and small nonprofit organizations working to make lives better for everyone in Waterloo Region. Partner organizations come from a range of fields: environmental justice, democratic reform, arts and culture, anti-poverty, anti-racism, human rights, ethno-cultural and newcomer support, technology, peace and nonviolence, spirituality, and well-being. On the show, we welcome one of our partners to the Civic Hub. Today, on Welcome to the Civic Hub, we have Heather Majaury, the Artistic Director for Kaleidoscope. Heather, welcome to the Civic Hub.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
Good. Welcome back to the Civic Hub. Really? Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're with Kaleidoscope.
I am.
What's that?
Yeah. So the Kaleidoscope 2-Minute Play Applied Theater Laboratory is a community-based theater laboratory where we do work and mostly based with people with lived experience in various with various issues and topics, and we transform stories through a story sharing process and a community animation method to then create plays that people can see that help build kind of a deep engagement with the work and to help kind of spread awareness and share knowledge.
Okay. Animation isn't animation as I would think of it. No, cartoons on TV.
That's right. We're talking about animating a community, so putting into action versus cartoons. Right. Although sometimes some of our skits can be funny.
How long have you been doing this? How long has Kaleidoscope been around?
So the Kaleidoscope Laboratory was started in 2023. We then moved from a training workshop to a development workshop. And we're now at Laboratory 3.0, which is the development of a play that's going to be forward-facing with the public in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Yeah.
This is like you're pretty new then.
We're very new. Yeah. The actual company, so that's our program. The company is called the Out of Work Actors Incorporated. Okay. And literally very new. Like we registered as a not-for-profit like last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And this will be the first production you put on to present to the public?
This will be the first production that has tickets and that sort of thing. Okay. We've done works in progress and presented them at the Social Development Center as plays and stories were being developed. Right. But this will be the first one that is kind of a full production.
Okay, so everything from script writing too? This is our script development?
Oh yeah, this is all original work and it's work with people in the community. So it's all very collaborative and co-creative.
Okay. Tell me what you're producing.
So we're producing The Canadian Dream, and that's what the name of the play is, and it's about newcomer homelessness. The play was scripted by Ashe Adalvi and Tanya Williams. Okay. And it's based on the lived experience of Malik Blatt, who was a part of the Lived Expertise Working Group at the Social Development Center. So we built a partnership where we did story sharing circles with the Lived Expertise Working Group. Okay.
Tanya Williams is another person involved with Kaleidoscope?
Yes, she is. So she's co-directing the show, and she co-wrote the show. And she started with me with the first laboratory, so I brought her on as a dramaturg. She's a wonderful movement artist, and we share similarities in our backgrounds as far as the kinds of theater techniques that we've learned over the years. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. This isn't your usual theater where you've got a script and then a director and it gets rehearsed and then performed and then it's wiped off the books for something else to start all over again. Something more ongoing, isn't it?
Yeah, the laboratory we hope would become a program that could be embedded in the community and that's very process oriented. The sharing circles can be quite cathartic for people utilizing dramatic techniques to help people feel seen and heard. And so when it's very powerful when you kind of activate the power of the mirror and have people manifest what you're sharing right in front of you from hearing what you share. And that in itself can be a very powerful experience. It doesn't have to be public. And that's part of the work. And then We have also this program, which is to create short plays. This play is probably between 30 and 40 minutes, we figure. We haven't timed it yet because we're still working on it. And then that, we look at trying to animate the play further with our audiences by demonstrating techniques related to forum theater, playback theater, something called Cops in the Head and Rainbow of Desires. And these are all different kinds of animating techniques that allow audience members to participate in the story.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Participatory then from all sides.
It's very participatory, and it's aimed at creating a deeper understanding of whatever the subject is we're talking about. And it sparks people's curiosity. The work is very transformative in the sense that the audience becomes what we call spect actors. So rather than spectators who sit passively back in their seats and watch something and then go contemplate it later, we often have what I would call a wraparound workshop, where we ask people often to come up on the stage and participate in transforming scenes or creating images from scenes to kind of better understand the social landscape or the internalized oppressors that we all experience.
That's certainly not something I would expect as a theater goer.
No. And we do let people know that this isn't going to be your normal run-of-the-mill presentation. Having said that, the next forward-facing production that we're going to do is only going to be an hour long. So we're only going to be able to demonstrate likely maybe one or two techniques after the play is done. And likely let people ask some questions. Yeah.
Participatory all the way through past the end.
That's the theory.
Do you have a show date?
We do. September 24th at 7 p.m. It'll be at the Blair Rehearsal Hall at the Conrad Center, and we're a part of the Impact International Theatre Festival this year. So on the Thursday, so that's the Wednesday, I think. On the Thursday, we will be a bit earlier. So we'll be 5 p.m. at the Blair Rehearsal Hall, again at the Conrad Center.
And will there be any extended performances beyond that?
Yeah, our plan is to hold some community performances where people won't have to pay ticket prices. And so our commitment to accessibility is really important for us. And we would really like to connect with other people and organizations that are really concerned with newcomer issues right now, as well as homelessness. And we are also hoping that we can intersect with the region and the city and various government to be able to show what we've learned in this process.
I can see that the target audience and the people most able to benefit from something like this would be least able to afford theater prices.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wide range, right? Some people are going to come who don't even really think about homelessness because they have the privilege to, live in their homes and everything is fine. Other people who are definitely struggling right now will really relate to the show, but are not going to be able to afford the ticket. So I will say that the Empty Space, the Impact Festival does have sliding scale, but for those productions, we won't be able to, we'll have to go through their system. When we do our community production, it will be open. Yeah.
Dates planned for that, yeah.
No, we're trying to figure out which dates. All of our actors who are out of work, no, but, all of the performers, they either have day jobs or they're really active in the community. And so we have to take care and time to find the time when everybody can be in the room together. Our hope is once we move into the community presentations too, these may be 3 or 4 hour long workshops.
Okay, so
Yeah.
not just the performance then.
That's right.
An audience coming in to participate in the setup, in the techniques that are being demonstrated in the performance.
Yeah.
In the performance, question and answers afterwards.
Yeah, and depending, it'd be like any sort of kind of training workshop program where people see the play and then they participate in various breakout groups or interactions with the play.
Theater workshops are fun.
They are fun. I keep trying to tell people that even when the subjects are difficult, the theater allows you a chance to look deeply at those issues, but also from a place of play.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for people who are in the theater world, from a place of comfort.
Absolutely. And also discomfort. Yeah. So, when we're doing workshops, sometimes we're asking people to maybe get a little out of their comfort zone and try something new. And often that can be very transformative because it's something they've never tried before. And when they understand that they are very capable of doing it, it can be a really profound moment as well, and a lot of fun.
And I expect you have a bunch of people in the company that aren't actors, that have never done theater before.
That's right. We have people who've never been on a stage before or have been on a stage with the laboratory. We also have some people who have professionalized training. So we have a real mix of people, which felt really important. The story holder that has generously held that story and allowed us to devise theater around it, they are originally from India. Our playwright is also originally from India. And we also have what I call story animators that transform into performers who are also from Nigeria and have experienced their own challenges with being newcomers, navigating the point system as it exists, and trying to find that elusive letter that makes someone or transforms someone into a permanent residence in Canada. And that's not that easy to do. Things are shifting and changing all of the time. So the group itself are very resonant with the topic. And then we also have people who are Canadian born that are in the show that have experienced homelessness. And we have an intersection in the script based upon the storyholder's experience with an Indigenous woman in town. So there's this kind of whole process of looking at our local social landscape.
I'm an immigrant. I went through the citizenship process, but being a privileged black guy, I had no trouble navigating the system at all.
Right. Yes. Yeah, it can be a very different experience for someone who is, say, coming here either as a refugee or as an economic immigrant trying to win that elusive possibility. Not everybody achieves that, and there can be a lot of barriers along the way. I think even now, the point system has shifted significantly. So there's people who came here under one situation, and now that's changed. And so they have to adapt to that to make that work for them. So there's a lot of stress.
Well, I can imagine.
Yeah.
For somebody just freshly over from a foreign country, possibly with a language barrier, needing to deal with the government, that can't be pleasant.
Well, Ashe and Tanya did a really good job on crafting the script so that we could follow the main character's journey through all of the different kind of traps that can occur. And so they really crafted something that I think is pretty special.
Okay. Yeah. As the performances take place, is there variation in the delivery of the performance? Is there some improvisation?
There can be. So in the play, as we've scripted it, it's a fully structured piece, but we can do workshops with people where people literally create scenes very, very quickly. And we call that rapid dramaturgy. And so you can literally have scenes kind of erupt and evolve from the storytelling that happens in this play. For example, when the play is done, as long as we have time, we may determine from the audience a point of interest in the play, or critical incident, something that has resonance for people, and they feel connected to it and they'd like to learn more, and then we will probably do some sort of improvisation. Our improvisation's a little different than when you would go to see like sketch comedy or Second City or any of those kind of really fun improv nights. We're not improvising really to entertain, although it can be entertaining. we're improvising to role play. Yeah, and to help people kind of discover things that are underneath the script.
Sorry, distracted.
Yeah, right? The phone.
The rehearsals are development workshops as well.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think we do. The first, this play has, I love it. This play really emerged out of Mulloch's story back in 2023, and then we moved into Laboratory 2.0, and we were able to put up a works in progress at the Social Development Center, and we staged it there. And where the audience, there was about maybe 20 or 30 people, I think, possibly a few more. And so we staged it, and we did some exercises around what's called legislative theater. So we had people collectively co-create laws that they would like to see that could potentially intervene. So it was at a very...
people developing policy that we hope the government picks up
Yeah,
to address
yeah.
the issues that the play is about.
And at a very kind of what would I call I'm trying to think of the right word for this. It's not like they would be finished laws, but conceptually, people were able to, put down kind of what they would like to see as their ideals for the kinds of regulations and policies that support in their situation, and to hopefully prevent what happens to the character in this play.
How is Malik, the holder of the story, how is he coping?
Very well, in the sense that as he went through this, obviously there's wisdom in lived experience. Mm-hmm. There's wisdom in trauma. And sometimes we don't realize that in our societies. And so Moloch actually now works as an outreach worker supporting people who are homeless. And they are still navigating the system the best they can, hoping for that permanent residency invitation.
So Moloch has not yet obtained permanent residency.
No. And I think that's what people often don't realize, is how precarious circumstances can be for people while they try to navigate economics that are shifting all the time, and often working in jobs that are under their education level, to be honest, right? And in this particular story, which is a common story for many newcomers, they had to do a duplicate degree. So they had a degree in India. Those credentials weren't accepted here, so then they had to do a second degree to be able to work and to potentially be available to do a master's and that sort of thing.
Then
so
you get the artificial barrier of Canadian experience.
Yes.
I think that became illegal, or is about to become illegal under some new legislation that the government is passing.
We should look at that.
Yeah.
That could be something that we can introduce into the workshops that we do. Yeah. Yeah, what was interesting too was Ashe did become a Canadian citizen. And so it was very interesting to have, we were very lucky to have Ashe as our playwright in residence, essentially, that helped us with this.
We have all the different layers of experience in the issue there.
Yeah, very much so. The play takes, the story goes from the character's name, Rahul. So Rahul is recruited in India to come to school, does their degree here, gets their second degree here, gets hired, gets a good job, and then is wrongfully dismissed. And then things start to go downhill, and the landscape that we all fall into when we don't have enough money and rents are getting sky high starts to happen, and they end up having to navigate the tribunal system, and the social services system, and finally they land unsheltered.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a good resolution?
No.
Oh.
So the play ends with them being unsheltered. And so that way, when people are ready to kind of look at the issues, it's not a resolved piece. It's not a piece that's going to say we can fix this or just with a little bit of love or happiness. Then people can come up and try to intervene on what they've seen to see if there are other ways to shift systems or to prevent or to just understand, because a lot of times people don't necessarily fully understand that any of us at any time, with a few bad knocks of some bad luck, at any time could end up on the street. And it doesn't take long. Like once you hit a certain tipping point, it can happen quite quickly.
I don't think anyone has the financial savings to be able to outlast, 3, 4, 5 years or more of joblessness, homelessness.
What's interesting too in the piece is it's not just Rahul, the main character, who ends up homeless. At the point where they are evicted, they also have a family living with them, and they are helping that family, and that family now also becomes homeless.
Oh, well, this is more complex than I would have thought. But I suppose that's reality. These things happen sadly regularly and possibly even frequently. So art imitating life.
Well, and I think that's the power of the piece, is that even though we've fictionalized the story, and we definitely have changed some things, and it was collectively devised, it's also really based on a very authentic experience. So I think that that's really powerful for people to connect to, and not as a sense of, not for fetishizing or sensationalizing the experience of homelessness, but to actually be able to look at it and face it in a way that we can start to acknowledge in our society that we do need to make changes.
Yeah. Have you sent out invitations to change makers, politicians and the like?
Yeah, our plan is to do that even more so after Impact, when we can do the, I guess, the more intensive workshops with the piece. That's our hope. Yeah.
Maybe get some interactivity with these politicians and change makers as well, so they can experience, in a light way, what a lot of citizens are going through, or non-citizens as yet. So
I think the power of this work is that it can really it can help build both social infrastructure but also empathy. And I think that is a great way to hopefully spark some system change in a manner that, maybe hasn't been tried before.
A lot of the homelessness that we see, or a lot of the homelessness that exists, we don't see. It's hidden homelessness. People spending time with friends because they have no home of their own, and it's not visible on the streets. And so people don't realize how pervasive homelessness really is.
Yeah, and the core tenet of hidden homelessness is you don't have security of tenure. So you don't have any of the protections of even trying to go through a tribunal system or anything like that. Literally, whoever is the person that whoever's couch you're staying on, that's who holds power over you. And so I like that this play alludes to the fact that there's also this family trying to survive. And in this situation, it's a cooperative situation. It's not an exploitative one. Because sometimes that can happen.
I expect that could. Yeah. Can you recap the play and its performances again?
Yeah. So it's The Canadian Dream. It will be performed at the Blair Rehearsal Hall at the Conrad Centre on September 24th at 7 p.m. and September 25th at 5 p.m. People can go onto the Impact website and onto Ticket Scene, and you can actually order passes if you're interested in seeing a whole bunch of really great theater over the next week, like that time. Tickets may go rather quickly. So
Okay.
you might want to do it relatively if you're going to get it. The main theater is quite large. Rehearsal hall, so we're talking probably 60, 70 seats.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
still substantial.
Yep.
And there's a cost for these performances.
So if you go on to Ticket Scene, you'll see that there's different different options for people, which is good. That is a move towards accessibility. And of course, it really does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Radio needs more funding too.
Everybody needs more funding. Majaury, thank you for coming in. Will this performances be taking place at the Civic Hub for the community performances?
Yeah, we will probably be doing something else, move into other locations as well. We've been looking at various possibilities in the community. The show's designed to be able to fit into a lecture hall or be able to fit into any sort of kind of community gathering space. It's not a show that can really go outside. It does need to be in a place where, you know, there may be tables and chairs and that sort of thing. But it's fairly flexible.
Okay, so looking forward to the community performances.
Awesome.
And looking forward to the performances at the Conrad Center as well. Heather Majaury, Managing Artistic Director of Kaleidoscope, thanks for coming in and talking to us.
Nice to be here.
You've been listening to Welcome to the Civic Hub, where we welcome community partners to the Civic Hub. The Civic Hub is online at civichubwr.org. You can reach the Civic Hub by email at civichub@waterlooregion.org. Welcome to the Civic Hub is produced at the studio of CKMS-FM 102.7 Radio Waterloo. The show is sponsored by the Social Development Centre of Waterloo Region. The executive producer is Alexander Petrovich. Ritika Sharmali is the producer and host, and I'm Bob Jonkman. Civic Hub is supported by the Region of Waterloo Upstream Fund. The theme music is A Good Bass by Kumiku from the Free Music Archive and used under Creative Commons CC0 license.